Good morning. I hope this weekend finds you well. Today, what I thought I would do is go over my favorite pipes. So, typically in a pipe rack, you'll get a slot for 6 pipes. So, one day rotation to allow for the rest of a pipe. But I've chosen my 7 favorite pipes. So, I thought that that was a good weekly number. My smoking habit is usually 1 or maybe 2 pipes a day. Uh, I can't smoke the pipe at work. Sometimes I smoke a pipe in my car on my way home from work. Um, Sometimes not. It just depends how I feel or what I want to do. Today, the idea is to just share with you some of my favorite pipes, and I'm going to try and edit in a picture of the pipes because just simply bringing it in like this doesn't seem to do much in the way of showing you my pipes. So I've taken some pictures separately and I'm going to test my editing skills to see if I can actually incorporate this into the video. Hopefully I can. Well, let's begin with what I'm smoking. Skull, what have you been smoking? Dragon Blend. By John Aylesbury. Kohlhaas and Cope, a German tobacco distributor and manufacturer, is the one that makes this for John Aylesbury. Also does a lot of other brands and is really quite enjoyable. I've really found another favorite pipe tobacco. I've been smoking this now for a few months off and on, and just finding it very, very pleasurable, very enjoyable. All right, so let's get on to the pipes. I'm going to light my pipe again here. Little Joe to wake me up this morning. What time is it? It's 6:15 in the morning. So hopefully nobody in the adjacent apartments will be yelling at me to shut up. I'm inside, so. But my voice does carry, or so they say. Okay, why not start with the pipe that I'm smoking, which is a Brebbia First, kind of a calabash shape to it. It's 9mm filter, kind of an army mount, kind of a faux army mount, not a true army mount, but it kind of looks that way. 9mm filter. And as you can see, it's rusticated. Has a lucite stem on it. I prefer vulcanite, but the lucite's okay. Call this a fishtail design for the stem. And I prefer fishtails. I just like the way it fits in my mouth. I've had this pipe now, I guess probably a year. It's definitely one of the pipes in my rotation. Here's to Briar Report TV, the enterprise recently launched. If you haven't checked them out, they're certainly worth checking out. A really good effort on a part of a lot of really good people trying to be a one-stop place for pipe smokers and cigar smokers, and also I think more pipe smokers, kind of in response, I think, to the hostile environment that's been kind of created by YouTube, with people who are, I guess, having trouble monetizing because they're promoting tobacco products, perhaps. I'm not completely aware of all of the ins and outs of it. But apart from that, I think it's just a wonderful idea. And Philip Bladder reports is the guy putting this together, and hopefully not going to work himself to death. Hopefully people will step in and help him with content, and it looks like a lot have. So let's see how it goes. I just wanted to purchase one of these. I think it's only $20 for shipping in the United States, and support it that way, and also visit it on a regular basis. So perhaps later on, if it's appropriate, maybe putting up one of my videos if they think it's if they think it's not going to drive away their viewership. I've kind of always envisioned my channel has always been kind of small. I kind of like that because I can get to know the people that come by on a regular basis, and I can visit their channels and leave comments, and it's a little bit of a smaller, a little bit more of an intimate community. Obviously, I don't want to drive away viewers, but I really like the idea of having kind of a relatively small subscriber base and the ability to respond to each of my viewers and to visit their site and kind of have that dynamic going on. I don't know to what extent I can control that, but it seems to me relatively safe to think that I'm not going to have that many viewers. All right, so let's talk about the pipes. Talked about the Brevia. Let me talk about my very first pipe that I bought that was a first. So in pipe smoking lore, a first is a pipe that has a flawless briar grain. There's no fillers. It's really top quality briar grain. It's rusticated. It's an Ascorti pipe. Business KS meaning king size. So it is a good size pipe. I typically favor pipes that have a good bowl, good sized bowl on them. Gives me longer smokes, and I think fits better in my hand. I sort of like that. It has a beautiful lucite stem, and you can see, I don't know if you can see how well you can see, but there's some chatter on it. But now, I bought this pipe, I believe it was 1980. So the pipe's been around for quite some time. It's a non-filtered pipe. I bought it at the Tinderbox in Orange County, and I think it was the same Tinderbox that I go to now in Orange County at the South Coast Plaza. Many, many years ago. They've since moved locations, and the whole mall has been redesigned. But it's one of the few brick and mortar stores still around. And it smokes beautifully. And I think one of the reasons it smokes so beautifully is the briar in this pipe is amazing. It's very light, even after many, many years of smoking. Hello, Lucy. This Lucy making her morning appearance. There she goes. There we go, sweetheart. Oh, there we go. There we go. Come on. Oh, Lord. Yes, you've heard about the herding cats. Well, it's true. She says, I want to stay up here. All right, sweetheart. I'm going to put you down here, and we're going to get you some treats. Yes, I know I'm reinforcing this behavior. All right, but expediency sometimes comes before good parenting skills. All right, so this pipe has been a favorite of mine. Very light, very good briar. Even after these 40 some odd years, the pipe really is still relatively light, and it's a great smoker. Absolutely wonderful smoker. Put anything in this and it just smokes it away. All right. Now another pipe that I bought. By the way, I think that pipe in 1980 was just shy of $100. So I don't know what that would be in current monetary usage. But I imagine it's probably roughly 150, 175, something like that, which in the 1980s was a lot of money for me, just kind of starting out. I was 20 years old when I bought that pipe. Major financial commitment. The second pipe also I have here, one of my favorites. I've had this a couple of years now. It's a Peterson 999 round, let's see, what is that? Round stone, that's it, a round stone. And it's kind of a bulldog design. Either bulldog or what's the other one? I don't know. Rhodesian or something. I don't know. I'm certainly not the world's expert on pipe shapes. I like it because it fits in my mouth, and this is a great pipe to drive with. You're sitting there, and you can look, right? That's what you want in a really good pipe where you're driving. You want to be able to have it and be able to look in your blind spot, right? So if you're driving with something like, let's see, let me get my big Meerschaum giant here. You're driving like that, you do this, you're going to hit the seat belt and the window, and things are going to break and you're going to die. So the best thing is these little compact pipes for driving in the car. It's also a military mount, 9mm. It's rusticated. And a lot of people, some people I think shy away from rustication because they think that it's not quite as attractive. And then, of course, everybody has their own tastes. But there is one real practical benefit for smoking a rusticated pipe, and that is by rusticating the pipe, what you're doing is increasing the surface area on the outside of the pipe, which allows for better heat transfer. So it's kind of like a sink on an engine, those little baffles. It increases the surface area, and therefore it's more efficient in dispersing the heat. And this is true in pipe smoking as well. So if you see a rusticated pipe, you know at least one thing is going to be true, that it's going to probably keep the bowl a little cooler than you would if it wasn't rusticated, because there's a greater surface area on the pipe, and that allows for better heat dispersion. Love the pipe, really like it. It's about a 40-minute smoke if I smoke nice and slowly. Speaking of nice and slowly, I need another puff. Okay, so let's see if I can keep the pipe lit and continue to talk about my pipes. A new challenge. Okay. This pipe I bought off of eBay. It has a vulcanite stem, and I really probably should work on this a bit. It's a Claude. I think it's a second. 9mm. And smokes wonderfully well. It's also one of my car pipes. Driving along, oh yeah, no problem. Doesn't hit anything. Also, maybe airbag, whack. The pipe at an angle flies out of my mouth, so on and so forth. So maybe that's another advantage of a small pipe. You're smoking a billiard pipe and you have it sticking straight out, airbag goes off, you end up with a pipe as a permanent part of your esophageal airway. All right. Come to the next pipe. A Meerschaum pipe. A Meerschaum, I think everybody should have at least one Meerschaum, one cob pipe, and one clay pipe, because they offer different properties, different smoking properties. I have a Meerschaum, don't have a clay pipe, so those are very inexpensive and easy to get. So actually, maybe my next purchase this next week will be a good clay pipe. So this is an Altanock billiard, and it's got some nice coloring on it. 9mm pipe, smokes very well. Happy to smoke this. This is, if I had to pick my top 3 pipes, this would be in my top 3 pipes. I smoke this quite a bit. As I mentioned on an earlier video, I use this pipe whenever I smoke a new brand and I want that kind of purity of smoke to it. A Meerschaum, despite what a lot of people say, doesn't take a lot of care. You know, you want to keep the cake out of the pipe. You don't want to have a cake in your Meerschaum pipe. Sort of defeats the purpose, because the Meerschaum itself is extremely absorbent and attenuates the heat quite well, I think. About the only care you need is the usual pipe cleaner. I shy away from bristle pipe cleaners, so I'm not scoring the Meerschaum at all. I keep it with a kind of a clean, soft pipe cleaner, maybe a little bit of pipe fluid in there just to dissipate some of the oils. But most of the oils themselves end up going into the Meerschaum body proper. And that's part of the reason why you get some of the coloring as you do. And it's quite often, a lot of people think that the Meerschaum should universally color, and at least that's not been my experience. My experience usually is the shank is the part of the pipe that typically colors first. I think it has something perhaps to do with heat or just the density, or I'm not sure what it is, but the Meerschaums I've had over the years have tended to do that. Also, just a little bit of a nice soft sponge around here every once now and then, just to clear off the soot and things like that, and then dry it right away. Seems fine to me. Sometimes you'll get a little water on here, and then you'll see little blotches, and those go away. Nothing to worry about with that. And you don't need to smoke it with a glove. It's not necessary. In fact, I kind of like the character that comes from the little scratches and the little dents that occasionally get into the pipe. But that's me, you know. It's just, it's whatever you enjoy. But I can tell you one thing: if you haven't smoked a Meerschaum, you really should give it a try. Unfortunately, Meerschaum pipes, a good one, tend to be on the more expensive side. So usually over $100. So this pipe was almost $300. So that's pretty expensive, especially if you're starting out. But then again, I smoke this pipe quite often. It's one of my favorites. It's a block Meerschaum. Sometimes you'll see an inferior type of Meerschaum, which is essentially a bunch of Meerschaum dust pressed together with resin and stuff. Avoid that. It's bad. So if you see block Meerschaum, that's going to tell you you're going to get a better pipe. The other thing that I found was that it's difficult to get a big Meerschaum pipe. Got a lot of little ones, but they don't have any good size ones, or they're more difficult to track down. Altanock is a good place. ALTI NOK, ALTI NOK, I think. A pipe maker in Turkey. So I've always gone to Turkey to get my Meerschaums, partly because that's where most of the great Meerschaum carvers live, and have great deposits of this particular type of material. North Africa also has a deposit of Meerschaum, but I've never smoked in a Meerschaum pipe made with North African Meerschaum. Meerschaum is, as I remember, it's German. It means sea foam because of its light porous character. And it is a collection of, I think, sea creatures, crustaceans, or things like that that solidify in the earth. So I might be wrong on that. I probably should have researched before I said that. Oh well, you can look it up if you want to. My next pipe is a Peterson. So of my 6 pipes, 2 are Petersons, my favorites. This is a Milverton, part of the Sherlock Holmes series. Beautiful pipe and absolutely a joy to smoke. Really is nice. It's a 9 millimeter, kind of stubby. So usually with these kind of short bent pipes like this, normally you have a smaller bowl. So one of the things that I really like about this is that the bowl is quite large. This will give me an hour smoke easily. And it's another good one for the car. And finally I come down to my last pipe. This is a Bladder. Beautiful grain on this pipe. Very light. It's a good smoker. Bladder of Montreal, or Blatier. I think it's Bladder. Bladder. Yes, Bladder and Bladder. Beautiful pipe makers. This pipe was made in, let's see, if I can read the code off of here. So it says 87-2008. So the year of making, I'm guessing, is 2008. So the pipe's a little over 10 years old. And a regular non-9 millimeter pipe. And so this part of the pipe here that sticks out from the stem is called the tenon. This is the shank. And so the fit with the shank is really good. It's a nice tight fit, but not so tight that you can't actually move it around. This is a vulcanite stem. It's a poker. You can kind of see there a poker. The shank comes to the bowl just above the bottom, and so that's a kind of a poker design. It also has a flat bottom, so I can sit the pipe down. So all of the things that I really like, and it has a fishtail stem. It's a great smoke. I really enjoy smoking this. Probably wouldn't smoke this in the car. A little bit too big for that. Well, those are my 7 favorite pipes. I thought what might be kind of nice is if you did a VR to share your 6 or 7 favorite pipes. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments. My weekend is not going to be nearly as busy as it was last weekend. So I think I'm going to really enjoy sitting around and doing some reading. I've got a new pipe book that I want to go through. And I think next week what I'll do is share with you a little bit about the pipe book that I bought, and also a classic pipe book that I've been in possession of for, gosh, years and years and years. I even have in it a little brochure from the tinderbox in Santa Monica, which was one of the oldest tinderboxes, if not the oldest tinderbox, no longer in existence. But it was this neat little brochure they gave you with every new pipe to tell you how to smoke it. So I think we may be going over that as well next week, if I can put something reasonably well organized together. Don't count on it. So I leave you with your pipe and whatever baccy you happen to be enjoying. Hope you have a wonderful week. If you get a chance, stop by Briar TV and show your support. Really want to encourage anybody who puts this much effort into making the pipe community a little bit tighter and a little bit more, a little more of a presence. So I hope you all can keep your pipe lit. I don't know. I like most of this. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.